Heads up. Hello everyone, Dana 14th Prime here. I want to drop a quick heads up video today with some toy release news of MakeToys Cross Dimensions. Very cool line. I've been buying these guys up. I've got Striker Manus, I've got Rider, Despertron, I've got Thunder Manus and the Divine Suit. All tons of fun. Very playable, very posable. If you follow me on Instagram, same handle, Dana 14th Prime, you'll see a lot of pics of these guys. But some new product news coming. They've got a Jetfire Skyfire variant. Looks cool, but not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the Divine Shooter, which is the not Godbomber, to go along with your Thunder Manus figure, which I find is very curious because number 3, number 4, they just gave us Thunder Manus and the Divine Suit. They decided to go the parts formers route. If I can refresh your memory, or if you don't know, this is what you get with the Divine Suit. You basically get a small Ginrai Prime in here, cab that can go with the trailer to make your Super Ginrai or Powermaster Optimus Prime, and then you get the parts former armor of not Godbomber to make your not God Ginrai. And again, you can't make the robot of Godbomber, but you can make the trailer as well. So if you get them all lined up in alt mode, you have that at least. So very cool. I've got this figure, just tons of fun. Again, this whole line is just tons of fun. But I found it very odd that straight out of the gate, next figure afterwards, they're now doing the Godbomber in Divine Shooter. So here he is. He looks good. You can see all the parts that you're going to need. It all looks very familiar. Looks like a nice figure. Yeah, I think he's going to be a good size because Godbomber is a pretty big figure. So who knows how much it'll cost. My guess would be 100-ish bucks, considering Striker Manus is around the 80 price point, and then Thunder Manus with the Divine Suit was around 125. So this guy's probably going to fall in the middle. Lots of articulation, lots of posability. Looks, as fun as everything else that we've seen from this line. It's just the whole strategy, that's odd for me, that given what we just got, the next figure they're coming with is, a proper Godbomber. Very strange, I think. Definitely, I think one uptick you're going to get is the trailer. Just looks a lot better, and I think fits a lot better with the overall alt mode. So here you can see it's just sort of short, stubby, probably a bit low trailer compared to this here, right? So just take a look at that comparison. Definitely some kind of size and scale impact, along with some other differences as well, but you mainly definitely notice the height aspect. And they give us a few views of it here. It looks very good. There he is all lined up with Thunder Manus. And yeah, Godbomber is a big figure. He's a big trailer in the cartoon even, and that probably looks better and makes more sense than what this was doing with us. They don't have the alt mode pics out here, but obviously it's going to kind of be a bit shorter here, pulling up the rear. So definitely an uptick there. And here you can see the scale of the figures, the Thunder Manus, which is probably about, Hasbro leader class size type figure. So he's just coming in a bit shorter. And you can see all the parts you'll need, the cannon, the shoulder pads here, the arm pads, it all looks like it's there. They seem to do a good job of hiding the chrome chest piece, but I think it's folded up on his back in some way. Tons of fun, posability, articulation. And I think this picture here is what you'd get with just the straight up Thunder Manus and Divine Shooter combined, never minding the Divine Suit sort of duplication. And the main thing I'm noticing is I think he's going to be taller. So right here you've got the Thunder Manus front of the foot, cutting right there, and you're getting all of this underneath, which looks like a good maybe inch or more compared to maybe the half-inch we get here with the Divine Suit. So here's the top of the foot, Thunder Manus, and then you just have this little platform underneath. Frankly, I think it looks a bit better actually in this mode, though he is maybe arguably a little short even in his cross-dimension line, considering he's supposed to be God Ginrai. So he's not a massive figure because he doesn't pick up a lot of height when he combines. He's basically Thunder Manus, leader size figure here, and then he just picks up this half-inch when he goes into God Ginrai mode. So it was always a bit odd, but didn't bother me because he's kind of a standalone, just fun figure for me. I don't worry about scale with this guy. But here you'll definitely pick up a little bit of extra height if scale was ever an issue or a concern with you with this figure. One other thing I noticed, you don't get the chrome thigh plates. I always thought they looked good. They look good, but could take them or leave them, and it looks fine like this as well. All of this chest stuff is flipping out of Godbomber, it looks like, to be quite consistent with the Divine Suit. And then they give us a few angle shots here. Here you can definitely see the height picking up on the bottom of the foot. You can put the gun all the way down there. Could not do that with the Divine Suit. You basically have it come on out mid-calf type area. So definitely just helps make the point that you're going to get some more height Unfortunately, it leaves this area then a bit exposed and gnarly looking. That does not look good. Very unfinished. So that's a big trade-off there, I think. Big clunky feet, a big heel, probably needs it maybe, takes on a more weight and mass. Having an overall figure here versus just parts. We lose some calf accenting here, not a big deal from the parts former. And you get basically just a different type of kibble on the back. I will say the Divine suit in the back, it was just smoother, all gray. It looked more like the cartoon, like you just had that sort of trailer back there folded down or something. This is a bit busier, but I think doesn't look as good. And though it wasn't too inaccurate, but it's not the purpose of this line, but with the Divine suit, you get like a little gray fin that would flare out here as well, which I think looked cool, and that seems to be gone here. Here, I think if you had the Divine suit and Divine Shooter, you start to get a lot of just redundancy duplication, right? So you can have 2 cannons, you can have 4 guns, 2 in hand, 2 on the wings. And of course, he's going to be taller for you, so you'll start to have more to use, I guess, if you care about that. I think you'll also have 2 swords. They show that later. Here is, still keeping a lot of the articulation. I don't know that looks as good. I mean, he's keeping the ankle break there, but just his foot. I mean, you can see again, Thunder Manus here. All of this kind of clunks underneath, which is just a lot more than what you had with the Divine suit setup. So I don't know that it looks as good, though it's still keeping a lot of the playability and articulation, which is important. There he is with the double sword. So again, you start to get all these extras, right? So I just thought it was interesting. I mean, I'm very happy with this version. I think in some ways it's probably aesthetically a bit better, even though scale-wise maybe not perfect, because he could definitely be taller. But to make him taller, you just end up with a big clunkier foot, unfortunately. So what do you guys think about that? I just found it to be just an odd approach with MakeToys, considering what they just did in the 3rd release to come in the 4th release with the Godbomber proper. It just seems not well planned, particularly considering you couldn't buy Thunder Manus separately as a standalone figure and then just wait to say, hey, maybe they'll come out with a Godbomber. You had to do the Divine suit. Or if you just passed on it, maybe they'll come back and say, okay, you can just do a plain Thunder Manus and then get your Divine Shooter and have sort of all the proper robots and alt modes and everything that you'll want, if that's important to you. But for me, I just combine them, and I think he looks great with the Divine suit. So I don't think I'll be picking up the Divine Shooter. As much as I love the line and think everything is great, I just don't really need a Godbomber standing out there by his lonesome. So just wanted to share this with a heads up. Thanks for checking in. Again, link in the description below to MakeToys, just for your convenience if you want to jump out and look at some of the pics or what's going on with the Cross Dimensions line. Again, lots of pics up on my Instagram, Dan14th Prime, if you want to see some of these Cross Dimensions figures. And link below to my Amazon page for just tons of Transformers shopping there. I've got everything lined up there. All the latest stuff is typically marked out there for you, or even stuff not yet released. So be sure to check that out, bookmark that page. I think you'll find it helpful for your Amazon Transformer shopping. All right, guys, thanks for checking in. I'll see you next time.